coming in hot.
I love you, baby.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Love you, baby.
Check 1 2 1 2.
Check, 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 check. This thing on.
First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
Oh yeah. One, two, 1 2.
Check, 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 check.
All right. Up and running. It's going down. Fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Tech is acting right. I'm feeling good. Got
Okay.
Buddi3 Da Gawd over there looking smooth.
Man, feeling good. Feeling good. All systems a go.
That's what's going on. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday, March 6th, 2024. I'm Paul B. This is Buddi3 Da Gawd.
Hey,
We got chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners in the house. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
everybody.
Appreciate you coming on through on this Wednesday.
Hump day.
There it is.
Yeah, man. How you doing, man?
Doing okay. Not too bad. Not too bad. Feeling pretty good. Making some progress this week on work stuff, and that's feeling good. So just trying to, just every day is a day of reaching for balance.
Man, balance. Reminds me of a song. Shout out to Egypt, the big sister of Lala. You know, a lot of people familiar with Lala. Man, talented family. But Egypt had a song back in the day called Balance. We used to play that on Minus Soul all the time. Yeah, it just reminded me of that song. Shout out to them.
Shout out.
Yeah, man,
Hey.
balance. That's what it's about, man.
There you go. How you feeling today, man?
Man, I'm feeling good. Kind of, speaking of that balance, yesterday did some yesterday was a pretty balanced day, man. It was pretty good. Got some work done, you know what I mean? Spent some time with my son. He is getting into boxing. So, spending some father-son time, teaching him some moves, learning some moves myself. Yeah.
Oh, man, bring him back down. Bring him back down to Omaha. Get trained by the champ.
Man, I'm definitely, again, that's a part of the Omaha, Atlanta connection that I'm trying to make. Definitely some brothers down here who are, working with the youth boxing on a national level. Actually, the trainer that, my son is working with, he'll be going to New Mexico, I believe. There's some youth nationals going on. So, yeah, man, actually would love to see some connection between, both camps as far as working with the youth. Getting them, maybe getting some young boxers going at it, doing some sparring and things like that. Man, there's some young men out here that's really putting in some work. So big shout out to all the mentors and all the coaches that's working with the youth. So yeah, we'll love to do something like that. But
yeah, boxing.
Yeah, man.
Boxing is a turning out to be an Omaha legacy situation out here with everybody that's getting trained, all the young people in the house, women getting trained, but winning titles.
Yep.
It's gonna be you're gonna look up. It's gonna be part of that scene out here. We were here at the beginning of it. Saw when things was popping off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and of course shout out to Bud Crawford, man, the champ, who's the center of it all. So that's what's up. Want to give a shout out to everybody that's in the chat this morning. That got up this morning early with us. Good Wednesday morning and love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, pops. Right on. Kimber Snipe says, "What up? What up? What up?" in her Martin voice.
Martin Payne.
Like he just said, "What's up Wednesday?" That's what's up. Yeah.
What's happening?
Appreciate you coming on through. Paul Philman gives us a good morning with some sunshine.
Hey.
Appreciate that. Good morning. You had a birthday the other day too, didn't you?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Happy belated.
Yep. Pop says, "See, everybody is feeling good. Wednesdays are cool." Pop's favorite day. We don't have any women on the show for you this time, Pops. It's not Women's Wednesday today.
Yeah, not today.
Yeah. We I actually dropped the ball. I was gonna try to have brother Preston Love on because he has an event coming up this weekend for his candidacy, and I forgot to call him back, and that's my bad. So just want to shout out to Preston Love. But we're gonna try to have him on Friday, see if he can make it and promote his Friday campaign event that's going on. Everybody's talking about. So we'll have a few haps today and a few things to talk about for sure. Jumping into some good news, some news that is relevant, some continued news on some of the things we talk about. So lots going on this morning.
Yeah. So
Yep.
let us know what's going on in your world. Again, Pop's still selling us hard on Wednesday. Not quite the weekend as we like to get into the haps on our Fridays, but still, if there's some things going on throughout the week, let us know. Definitely some topics we'll be getting into today. If anybody made it to that OHA meeting last night, would definitely love to hear your thoughts on that. Yeah, it's something, as Paul said, we've been looking at and talking about for quite some time, and we'll continue to talk about it. And speaking of what we will be talking about, Paul and I have been getting into a conversation of wanting to we've been kind of teeing it up here on the show as far as us being artists and wanting to talk about some things we've mentioned that we might be making some changes in season 8. And I am kind of curious, what other than the politics, I think we're kind of figured out how we as individuals can influence our local politics, as we know that's the most impactful in our lives from the day-to-day basis. Go to the legislature if you can't, write a letter, you call, feel free to call the senators, like we will continue to do that. But what's some other things y'all want to hear about? What's some other things you want to talk about? I'm kind of curious, just putting a filler out there. Paul
Yeah.
and I definitely have some ideas, but this is a conversation still, so let us know.
And we definitely have some ideas that a lot of them stem from you, the stuff that you've been putting in Friends of First Sky Omaha. So I appreciate that. Please continue to do that. That's we know
Yeah.
those are some of the talking points that that we talk about here, and we'll have a few of those today to get into. Before we do that, though, let's go ahead and get the show up and rolling, started.
Hey.
Appreciate you coming in on this Wednesday. Again, it's March 6th, 2024. Shout out to the radio listeners. Shout out to Beth, who gave me some thumbs up on the mix this morning. Appreciate everybody that's tuned in. Let's get this conversation rolling.
Let's start the show.
What up, what up, what up? Once again, Wednesday, March 6th, 2024, a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Yeah, Pops don't like Wednesday.
I was like, that's exactly what I was laughing at. You already knew, man. Pops is hilarious.
Pops done changed his view on Wednesdays now. Oh man. Yeah, man.
Oh,
Appreciate you.
man.
Appreciate y'all coming in. Wanda Lewis gives us a good morning. Jess Parker says good morning. Man, I feel like my mic is doing something funny. Do I sound funny? I don't know what's going on.
Hello.
Hello. Check.
Check.
Christy
Hold
Nor
on,
gives
man.
us a good morning. Yeah, just let me know if I got some weird thing going on.
Yeah.
Pop says, so no women see Wednesday sucks. See?
I just got like a mental picture of him like with his head down, hands in his pocket, kicking rocks, like Wednesday sucks.
Oh
Man.
Kimber Snipes says she saw the senators last night in Lincoln at the Salute to State Senators event by the Nebraska Democratic Party.
Oh, okay.
When you say the senators, you talk about the brother senators Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne.
Yeah, I think we're picking up what she putting down.
Yeah.
I think, is that the event? Yeah, I think people were kind of upset they weren't getting that award at.
Was that the event?
Was that it?
The Salute.
Maybe I'm misspeaking. Maybe. Let me know.
Yeah, let us know about that, Kimmer. Give us the Kimmer report on the
Man, it is Wednesday.
There you go. Wanda Luce in the chat says they didn't even mention Sherman and Cheryl at the OHA meeting yesterday, and they're the ones that hosted the meeting. Also, the towers in North Omaha wasn't mentioned either, and that's where it started.
So what did they talk about?
Interesting that you said interesting. Yeah, what did they talk about? First of all, second of all, I did see Channel 7. I think it's Channel 7. Channel 7 put an article out on this meeting and was like, days after Channel 7 did an investigation on the buildings, they had a meeting. Like, no shout out. Let me pull it up because this I was very just like, see, this is what I'm talking about. They have how you gonna not mention Brother Sherman Wells and Miss Cheryl Weston when it comes to this particular issue here? It's really interesting, man.
I think it's kind of bigger than that though. I think
Oh
it's a
yeah,
little bigger than that.
well yeah, but I'm just saying it's the that's the tone they're starting with.
Right. Just to my point, it's not just individuals. These are concerned citizens who are trying to organize and mobilize. It's not just that they ignored them. It's the North Omaha Betterment Housing Committee,
Right.
which they're calling themselves.
Not even acknowledging that.
Right.
Yeah, hot mess. We'll definitely jump into that. As a matter of fact, let's go over some of the things that we're gonna get into today, so we can kind of tee everybody up on.
Yeah. A few things to dive into. No guests, so you got us. But yeah, as always, we'd definitely love to hear from you. Let your minds be free. Let your voices be heard, especially on these here topics. Again, as we've been mentioning, we'll definitely dive more into what's going on with this OHA meeting that went down. So again, if you were there, definitely love to hear from you. Quite interesting. Although there weren't any cameras allowed in it, as the press release mentioned, there's still some news outlets in the building. Again, Channel 6 and Channel 7 reporting on it. So we'll look at their reports.
Mm,
Also coming out of Channel 7, situation with DACA. Senator Wayne is proposing a bill that would allow DACA recipients to serve on the police force, a bill that Mike Flood is speaking out against. Also, Sheriff Aaron Hansen speaking up against that as well. So, definitely wanted to give some light to our, Latinx, Latino brothers and sisters. Also, give some shout out to our Native brothers and sisters. So we'll definitely talk about what's going on with DACA, and what's going on with ICE. Not really hearing a lot about that, but also what's going on with our Native brothers and sisters. There's a story coming out of the Nebraska Examiner that's looking at Native mental health, um, and what resources they really have. According to the Nebraska Examiner article, there's not really mental health facilities for Native brothers and sisters. They'll be going into jail cells and being sent home in Native crises, but a bill looks to change that. I also definitely want to talk about that. Also, coming out of Nebraska Examiner, nursing centers, federal funds prevent closing of skilled nursing centers across Nebraska, and unemployment. So some things going on. But as always, whatever's going on in your worlds, your hearts and minds would definitely love to hear that. So again, let your minds be free. Let your voices be heard. In the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
up?
Also, just want to mention that we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that's happening in town. We meet the fellows. I don't know if you guys
Yeah,
know about some of the fellowship that's happening over there in at the Union for Contemporary Art. It's kind of the squad, man. I'm looking at it like, man, that's all the homies right there. So
man.
some good art getting ready to come out of 24th and Lake Street area as well. So I'm with that, man. And yeah, like Buddy said, whatever's on your hearts and minds, let's definitely continue to talk about some of the issues that's going on here, but also move into what our news is. What's our headlines is kind
Yep.
of the question as well. So, man, yeah, shout out to all y'all for coming on in this morning, and also shout out to everybody who's dropping stuff in Friends of First Sky Omaha. That's definitely kind of the first place I go to look and see what's going on, and figuring out what you guys want to talk about. So, Kimber's all on us too, man. She says, "Nah,
Yeah.
man, you forgot about the women today."
Wait.
So I see how it's gonna be here on Wednesdays now. That's. I got you. Wanda Lewis says Underwood Tower only. Speaking about what they, with the towers that they brought up. Kimmer also says no. The event you're referring to is the Nelson Gala. That's where they were
Thank you.
they were on. Right. So we'll like to hear about this other one. Tony Johnson in the chat. Good morning on YouTube. Should have had a no comment agreement among attendees and select one person and one black media source to report.
Mm,
Yeah, kind of thought that's I thought that was part of the draw to that meeting was that there's not going to be the
media.
press there that way. So interesting that there was. Kimber Snipes says the same Aaron Hansen that many of our faith leaders were supporting while I was consulting for Greg Gonzalez, and I mean some of them treated me kind of bad too. Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
Fair
Aaron
enough.
Hansen. Yeah. That was. We remember we were right there amongst that election, which was crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of elections, that we got to mention, Supreme Court decided Trump can be elected in all states, so now he's front runner. Super Tuesday happened, and it's going to be Trump and Biden. So, moving on from that piece of news.
Yeah. Man, I mean,
Yeah, man. You know,
Brother Kassim brought the Trump hat out on Monday. You know, we've been talking about the if you missed that, go back, check that out. That was quite a moment.
yeah.
But yeah. We've been talking about, you know, black Republicans coming out of the woodwork. The new Trump ones just dropped. Apparently, now that you know Trump has an indictment,
Don't call him Trump one. Michael Jordan come smack you for that,
the golden Trump ones.
man, bro.
Apparently,
Anyway,
Fat Joe got some in his collection.
they're gonna be some collector's editions, that's for sure. If you're a collector. Josh Tate says,
I mean,
best morning to
I'm
all. I appreciate it.
man. Good
I don't
morning. Good
want to
morning.
keep
Good
talking about
morning.
Trump, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm laughing up, but I'm saying, hey, you mentioned it, man. The Trump effect is real, man. Just yeah.
Like I said, I just thought it was worth mentioning that happened in the world, and you know
Yeah.
what that means for us is that's what's going to be. So I don't know if there's any Nikki Haley fans out there, but she about to drop on out. It's going to be Trump and Biden. Anthony
Yeah.
Rogers, right in the chat. Good morning. He says that was so whack, and them sending black faces to try to appease us was disgusting. Everyone in OHA should be replaced. Housing
Okay.
authority, man. We definitely got to
Okay.
dive in on this housing authority situation here.
Yeah. Were you there, Brother Anthony? Definitely love to hear
Yeah,
more.
Brother Pena is giving us a good morning. He says, "Got my dates wrong, so I didn't go." Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Anthony Rogers Rice says that was the right decision by SCOTUS. It was unanimous. Court should not be deciding elections. That is enshrined for and by the people. Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate you mentioning that because we did so get caught up in get him, the news. The states was like, nah, you can't run. But you're right, states shouldn't be deciding the elections. So it's gonna be down to the people. Kimber says, see, that's a slippery slope. The Supreme Court actually made the right decision, whether we like it or not. She's
Mm-hmm.
reaffirming that.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Rogers Rice says there's a reason why Trump is commanding 23% of the black vote. Democrats are that bad. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's I don't know if people if these folks that we're seeing that are on the side of Trump are just on the side of Trump just because Democrats. It feels like they align with some of the stuff he's talking about a lot of times. We were talking about that before the show too. I hear a lot of folks talking about people invading our borders, and it's we talking a lot of black men saying all these things. So you know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey, we'll be getting into some of that a little later on in the show. We'll be getting into some of that.
most deaf.
Yeah.
Mama God in the house says, "Good morning, First Sky fam. Good morning to you. Appreciate you coming in." Also, I think Rogers Rice says I was there when Big Sherm, who was working for the people like he always does.
Okay, Big Sherm. Hey, I like these nicknames. We get Big Sherm and Captain Q. Like we gotta put him on a comic book or something.
Yeah, for real, for real. I already got him. I already got the untamed colors going on too.
Man.
So, Tony Johnson in the chat. Good morning. Says hope there was some true, honest, and stern side conversation at the Democrat gala.
Okay.
No, if there was,
Yeah.
OHA should have hired Dale Gines. Snipe says. Yeah, I've been checking him out. He's got a pretty good social media presence, so I've been seeing some of the stuff he's talking about, and he seems to be a pretty heavy brother, man. We got to get Dale Gines on at some point. Brother Pena says I don't like the fact all local meetings are held on the same day as the gala. Sad day. Okay, how can we talk to senators if my local meetings are held on Tuesday? Very tough. We talk about this all the time, man. Some of these meetings are held during times when people got to work and can't make it.
Yeah.
And that means there's only a chosen few folks that are going to be at some of these things. Pretty tough. Kimber Snipe says my uncles who are Democrats say it's about economy and that the Democrats suck. So some of your uncles going on the Trump side, is that what's happening? Anthony Rogers Rice says I really call him Sherm Grand for short. Sherm Grande. Sherman Grande.
Sherm Grande. Okay.
Yep.
Man, but as far as to Kimura's point, that is, from conversations that I've had and conversations that I've heard, that is what a lot of people are talking about, man. This bottom line, the dollars, man. Like that's kind of what what Brother Kasim said on Monday. As far as he financially apparently he prospered under Trump.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It's this
Again, I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just saying that's what a lot of people are pointing to as far as the impact on the dollars and.
a lot of people are saying that now. There's billions in infrastructure because of Biden. There's all the way down to college reimbursements, and I mean, there's
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
going on with him all the time as far as economically is concerned. So I don't see how you could look at one. We got a check. That's why
Yeah,
we got a
yeah.
COVID check.
You
I
know,
mean,
you can either look at the stimulus checks, or you can look at what just happened with 1024. Again, those are federal funds.
right, yeah. And then I always tend to say I'm not going to necessarily give the president credit for everything. Like there's a lot of stuff that happens that was already in momentum before the president even got into the seat in the first place.
Right.
There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it, and it's so densely packed all the time that
Mm.
it's hard to make a decision if you don't spend all your time researching every move to see what's really happening, and you can kind of get caught up on one or two points, and that's usually what sways people. So it's a tough one.
Yeah. I'm still for
Uh,
Brother Love.
hmm?
I'm still for Brother Love. Again, the doc,
Yep, yep.
Shout out to Dr. Cornell West and Brother Anthony Rogers Wright.
David gave us a third option for sure. So
Yeah, man.
yeah, even though they're saying Super Tuesday happened, all this stuff went down, it's going to be between them. Brother West is still running, so it is. There's another option. There's another
There you
option
go.
there, which is the best thing. The best part of that for me is that you. How about we have an option that we actually want this time instead of lesser of two evils. So,
Hmm.
Brother Pena says we had stimulus spending due to him, hence inflation. Thanks, Trump. Okay, Trump gave stimulus checks and Biden had to pay for it. Um, is that how that went? Yeah. Like I said, this is you gotta jump into it. Macroeconomics. So I love what Anthony Rogers Wright's talking about here. The
Mm.
macroeconomics are doing great. The microeconomics not so much. And so we are seeing in major cities the people benefiting the most from the economic benefit are not our people.
Mm.
They are not poor people. They are not working people. The people the Democrats claim to work for. There you go. So
Man.
yeah, that's what yeah, you can look at it that way too. Poor people got a check during Trump. Even though there's a bunch of money going towards infrastructure and stuff like that from Biden, is it getting to us? Is it trickling down? Yeah. Tony Johnson said folks also talking about there were no funding of wars or conflicts during Trump presidency.
Yeah, that too. That's what I'm hearing too.
Yeah, I mean, again, did we just get done with the war when Obama was in there? Like it just so happened to be that there was no war. It wasn't that I don't know.
I don't know, because I will say under Trump, it did feel like the closest we've ever been to civil war. So it might we might not had any issues with anybody else, but things got a little tense.
True. So true. Brother Pena says people were going to lose their homes. People were going to lose their apartments. People were going to lose so much things. People were going to go hungry. Schools were closed. The pandemic was going on. So you're saying Trump helped that by sending us $1,600 stimulus check, and that helped our situation because of everything that was going on. And so again, one if you wouldn't consider that a good move, a helpful move, that's one, stacked up against a whole bunch of other stuff that we can't ignore. It's just kind of hard to decipher there a little bit. When you win a check, you have to do some serious work to break down how much good did he do, how much bad did he do for everybody who's in every end.
Oh yeah, nobody. Nobody's all bad. Nobody's all good.
Very true, but you got to kind of like you got to make that decision when it comes voting time. So how
Yeah.
do you do that? Give us some stuff. I'm putting that out to the chat. How do you? What's your process for trying to figure out
Hmm.
who it is you're trying to vote for, and what are the points that make you go one way or the other, and how many points are there? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it 1 or 2 points that sway you, or is it are you looking over time? Are you spending more time to dig in and look? Like what's your process? I'd like to know. If you're on Facebook and YouTube, do us a favor, share the show.
Hey.
So let's get many people in is possible talking about it. Shout out to the chat chimers that do that. I still hear there's chat chimers that hit people up every day like, yo, it's about to come on, let them know. So shout out to the chat chimers that
Yeah.
remind everybody the show's happening. Shout out to the ghost listeners coming in, man. Every time I go out in the public, I find out that there's people that are checking out the show. They might not come into the chat, but they're listening. So appreciate that.
Thank you.
And shout out to the radio listeners that's growing a little bit as well too. So firstsky.omaha.com, hit the listen button, or if you have Amazon Alexa, you can say play First Sky Omaha radio. And yeah, we're building out some shows and stuff over there, man. Been getting a lot of feedback from people that are just reminiscing about the Mind and Soul days. So,
Yeah.
so we decided to keep this digital radio going because we like the format. And of course, like I said, we're all about the music and the love too. So that's why we continue to do that. So we'll be working on building that up. Definitely need your help on that. So go check it out. FirstSkyOmaha.com. Hit the listen button and check us out.
Mhm.
Excuse me. Let's go ahead and jump into some stories, man, and get this conversation rolling. Appreciate everybody that's coming in. I see Brother Harrison, Marlon Harrison, in the chat. Good morning. Said people got to remember Trump did not want the stimulus checks originally. Democrats and some Republicans forced him into it.
Okay.
I don't remember that. I didn't remember that. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that piece of information there. Also, Anthony Rogers Rice says, "Props to Wanda Lewis for reminding me every morning." Yeah, I was. I didn't know if she wanted me to call her name out, but she calls a few folks like, "Yo, come on through and check the show out." So
Yeah.
shout out to Wanda Lewis. Now that you now that you put her name out there, I appreciate that. So yeah. Anyway, 7:27 already, man. Scooting through the morning here.
Yeah, man.
Leaving the concept of time. Let's go ahead and jump into some stories. What's top of mind for you, buddy?
Man, it's OHA meeting. So I know you you didn't want to talk about Trump that much, but you mentioned it, so you started it. But yeah, definitely want to talk about this OHA meeting. That's just something that we've been looking out for, and shout out to the chat chimers for letting us know about it. Keeping us on top of things.
Yeah.
I believe Sister Cheryl Weston was the one who sent us the press
Yeah.
release.
We
She
got
is a
sent by
part
few
of.
folks. Yep.
Yep. Again, she is a part of what we're calling the North Omaha Betterment Housing Committee, is what they're calling themselves. Brother Sherman Wells, I believe Sister Celeste Butler, and Sister Cheryl Weston are a part of this. And so big shout out to them for putting this together. And it is interesting that, again, as some of you say, they weren't mentioned in this meeting. But again, what was talked about, apparently Channel 7 and Channel 6 were in the building. And according to Channel 7, a representative from OHA met with tenants. Again, the meeting comes just weeks after Channel 7 reported about conditions at Underwood Tower, but we've been talking about this for quite some time. Actually, not surprisingly, a representative from Don Bacon's office was also at the meeting. Media, however, was not to bring cameras in, but again, they definitely spoke to tenants afterwards. One tenant, Michael Coleman, said he's dealt with bed bugs, cockroaches, and stuff like that. He says, "I've got a cat, so I don't have to worry about the mice."
Dang.
But again, Coleman, right. But Coleman said he's been living at Underwood Tower for nearly 6 years. In addition to pests, he said the washing machine does not have hot water. The OHA tenant said he's put in multiple work orders, but says the washing machine has not been fixed to run hot water, and that is not a anomaly, or that's not a kind of confined situation. It seems to be kind of the widespread reality for a lot of OHA residents. Luckily, Sal Asaka, who is somebody who is apparently aware of the show, he might even be listening. So Sal would definitely love to speak to you. He's OHA's Director of Resident Initiatives and Public Housing Engagement. He was also at the meeting. Asaka said he wants OHA and its tenants to work together. However, it seems like, again, all the conversation that we've hearing from tenants is about a fear of being, retaliated against, a fear of being um evicted is the word I'm thinking of. But he did listen apparently to questions and concerns from tenants like Coleman. Hopefully it will do some good. Also, Channel 6 is reporting to a few things that are being said, especially about our elderly brothers and sisters. Again, a lot of the tenants who live in these towers are elderly, some dealing with mental health, a lot of people who just need help. And again, one individual points to that saying they're elderly, they shouldn't get treated this way. Again, she got a call from her sisters that her 79-year-old father was taken to the hospital. That's when Harrison rushed from her home to in Georgia to Omaha, where her father hasn't been doing well. He's developed rashes and can't stop itching his skin. Again, that's as a result of parasites that identify as bed bugs. So
Mm.
it's a real situation. Again, I would definitely love to hear from the individuals who were there, and especially those of you who have family members in the towers. It seems like, again, by all accounts, it's not just the tenants, but family members have been speaking up and not really getting a lot of response. And just let that sink in. If it's so bad to the point where family members have to then speak up, and family members feel like they have to do something and step up, and nothing's still being done, and there's still a real fear of retaliation. What is really going on in this situation? So again, brother Anthony Rogers is right, saying time for a rent strike.
Mm.
Man.
Yeah, I feel that. Tony Johnson saying Charles Drew should have deployed a mobile health unit.
Mm,
That'd have been a good thing to do.
yeah.
My mind goes to the fact that I've seen articles and people have brought this up in the previous conversations on this about this being an issue all the way back from the 70s and 80s. So
Hmm.
they've never solved this. They've never fixed this. What's really going on here with that? Who's what why is it so tough? Why is this is such an issue for them to why is this an ongoing every year issue? Like what's the problem here? Why can't we get any traction, any movement on it? Rent strike definitely something to do. Also, people whoever's running OHA needs to be held accountable. I mean, there's so many things we can deploy Charles Drew. We can do we can send Chad Chimers over. We can do a lot of stuff to try to remedy the situation. But why is the situation happening in the first place?
Right.
Why do they own these properties and don't have to do anything about taking care of them? Black Dynamite in the chat. Good morning. He says top of the morning to y'all. Do you think that this has resurrected or resurfaced because it happened to be the Underwood Tower?
Hmm.
That's a good point.
It is a good point. That's a good point. Because I went to King Science middle school, right off of the Deuce, and
Mhm.
I remember even back then, like, towers weren't the most luxurious, type. Like, this has been going on for some time, especially on the north side.
Yeah. Well, it's one thing for them to be not a luxurious situation, but like there's a level of humanity that needs to be considered here. You don't let your properties dilapidate that far and make them
Oh
that
yeah,
far gone. You know.
yeah. I'm kind of being tongue in cheek when I say not the most
Yeah.
luxurious. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, there could be if they could take care. Nobody would be complaining if there wasn't like these situations here that are just like unlivable. Interesting. Waddle Lewis says Megan Hunt had to take it to this legislator. Mm,
Okay.
we have to see what's
See
going
if
on
any
there.
bills come out of that.
Hmm. Anthony Rogers, right? Has anyone written a letter to Marsha Fudge, the head of HUD? Biden needs to this distract to win the election. I'm sure that Secretary Fudge knows this too. Just saying.
So I will have to pull up the press release, but there were HUD officials. I think that at least the district head was invited. I don't know if they showed up. I don't know who was actually present, but
Mm.
there were some officials from HUD that was invited. Yeah, and they apparently were excited to hear what tenants had to say. So again,
Is this the same meeting that wasn't supposed to have no press so that tenants can speak up?
yeah, this is it.
Who facilitated? So why was there two channels there?
Again, they didn't bring any cameras. They didn't bring. They said you gotta peep. You gotta peep. That is funny. Again, I believe who mentioned it? Was it Channel 6 or 7? Yeah, it says media was not able to bring cameras in, but KETV News R7 spoke to the tenants afterward. And I kind of figured that would be the case is when I read the press release. Like, yeah, no cameras are going to be there, but you got to believe, a reporter is going to be in the building taking notes.
Not if they decide they're not going to be in the building taking notes. We had a whole Black Power conference over the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation. Joanna LaFleur decided we're not having outside press, and there wasn't no outside press in there taking no notes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but again, there's a difference between no cameras being allowed and no outside press being allowed.
No outside press. I just said no outside press was allowed inside the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation. Cameras or no cameras.
Mm-hmm. And I'm saying at this event, it just said no cameras.
So you're saying that they did that on purpose, or was their intent that they didn't want press there? Right.
I'm just saying it said no cameras. It left gray area in which Channel 6 and Channel 7 took advantage of. That's what I'm saying. I don't know their intent. I would love to speak to them if y'all listening. Let us know your intent. I can't speak for that, but I'm just letting you know what it said.
All right, I'm pulling.
But no, I definitely understand what you mean because again, the whole as a regard to the intent that they did say in this letter, it does say that they wanted to protect the anonymity of residents and people who are speaking up. And Channel 7 does name a tenant, Brother Daniel Coleman. So
y'all keep your eyes open for Brother Coleman. He might have to be on it. He might have to.
Man,
Sean McCarthy in the chat. Good morning. Says it's not much to ask that every rental housing unit should have adequate running water, not be infested with rodents and free of toxic mold, heat working and everything else. Ronald Harrison. I feel sorry for the kids in those buildings. This is why kids have been coming to school sick. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this thing now.
The letter.
Names do not have to be given, and no media cameras will be allowed during the meeting. Okay.
See, they just said cameras. They just said cameras.
Man.
Left that gray area.
Wanda Lewis, that's Senator Megan Hunt and the City Councilman Pete Festerson's district, all while North Omaha gets ignored. So you're talking about that's what you're talking about is the situation with the fact that Megan Hunt brought that up and the particular tower that they're talking about.
Underwood. Which, Brother Black Dynamite might be onto something with that question. As far as, again, why now?
Mama God, the government shut down slumlords who own large apartment complexes here in Omaha, but do nothing when holding their own self accountable.
Great point, Mom. My dudes.
Tony Johnson says, how did the OHA board sign off on all of this craziness? Half the board is Black Omaha members. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm not familiar with who the OHA board is. That's interesting. Kimmer says, Kitty Amaya is a Black woman, and I believe she's the regional director, first Black woman in the position. I wonder if she was there. Okay.
Can you pull that back up? It lists off the HUD officials that they invited. Yep, Denise Gibson, director of public housing, at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Also, Kitty Amaya, field office director of Nebraska, who slated in her previous email response, we look forward to hearing the needs of the community. So again, they were invited. Were they there? I don't know.
Yeah. OHA didn't even show up for the first meeting for the towers in North Omaha.
Yep.
Good reminder on that.
Yep. Actually, that was the meeting where it was like rumored to be canceled, wasn't it? Like somebody put out a false report that it was canceled.
Yeah. Kimber says no cameras is not an abnormal thing, and the Daniel person might have given the reporter permission to use their name. They typically ask for it. True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I don't want to harp on that too much. I just think it's when you're in a situation where you're scared, you might get retaliation for participating in a thing, and it's clearly stated on the press release that's inviting you to come, probably ought to respect that a little bit more. Courtrooms have no cameras all the time, and reporters are still in the courtroom. Yeah, I mean, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, I guess people do need to know this meeting happened, so I can see there being some reporting on it. But yeah, I think the spirit is let's not call folks out or show folks because we don't want them to be retaliated against. Tony John says board members like Cammie Watkins, Tony Velland, and Danielle Goodwin. Okay, these are board members.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody in the chat or any ghost listeners that were at this meeting, went to the meeting, we'd like to hear more from you as well. And anybody who we've already talked to that showed up there, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the meeting and what came of that. And then, of course, next Monday we will definitely be having Brother Sherman Wells and Brother Kasim back on as well to talk to them about that. I'd like to hear from Brother Sherman Wells on this issue, and find out where how come they're kind of getting left out of the conversation. It seems a little bit like the way, I guess it's just the way that the mainstream media has reported on this. We've been speaking to the people that are directly here trying to do something for weeks now, and so it's a little funny when that gets reported in the way it did. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Again, how long was that when we had Sister Kimra and the chat chimers going to the towers to check on the bed bug situation?
Last year. It's last year. We've been on this for a minute. Michelle Moreno says they interviewed Mr. Coleman outside. I just seen the news broadcast of the interview of the meeting last night.
Yeah. They say that in the article that they spoke to him afterwards. So yeah, I'm sure the theory of him giving it permission to have his name. Yeah. But still, again, the point is is to that level as far as a very real fear of retaliation and forced eviction.
Yep. Right on. More on this later. It's definitely an ongoing conversation here on this, and keep the progress up. In the meantime, between time, you want to move on to 7:42 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. Kieran says, "Show did." And we got kicked out. Chris Bowling was with me. Wow.
Yeah.
Anthony Rogers writes, his Bacon's rep said that they secured millions of dollars for this issue. That was really the only piece of useful information that was offered. OHA was defensive AF and offered no concrete solutions. It was performative and nothing more. Okay. There's the report.
There you go. That's what we're looking for. Drop the mic.
Drop the mic. I'm looking. I want to see where these millions of dollars that Bacon's rep, saying they're gonna do for this. We'll see.
Follow the money.
They had kicked everyone else out while we were in my dad's apartment. Okay, so let me go back and look at what Miss Snipes is saying. Yeah, interesting. Like I said, interesting report on this meeting here. That is a pretty useful piece of information. I really want to see now. I follow the money. What's the Bacon? These millions that Bacon raised. Where did he get it from, and where is it going?
Right. Okay. Until next time, we will look into that. So yeah, and also love to hear more about this North Omaha Betterment Committee. What how that was formed, what they plan to do, other things like that. Yeah, man. So again, appreciate y'all for joining that conversation. If you have any more information, feel free to drop that in the chat. In the meantime, between time, we're about 45 minutes in. You want to take a quick break?
Let's do that. Take a quick break. Be right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Call Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd. All of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners, stay tuned. Be right back, y'all.
Touch nothing.
Pop says Wednesday suck, but hey, it is what it is. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be Buddi3 Da Gawd. Just want
Hey.
to mention this show is brought to you by Drunk Ship Coffee.
Hey.
Go to drunkshipcoffee.com and order you a couple bags a day, man. Get down on some of this. The family has reached out to a farm, one single farm in Ethiopia, and that's where they're sourcing these beans. And the beans get down. So
Man.
get yourself a grinder, get yourself some Drunk Ship. By the way, Drunk Ship shipped out a shipment over here because of the fact that there was some interest here in Nebraska and got some orders. So shout out to you guys who ordered some of this coffee already. So they shipped some over so we can do some giveaways. So stay tuned for that.
Man.
If you have been teetering on this idea of becoming a member or a sponsor of First Sky Omaha, then this might be the time. You might have waited till you get this free perk coming to go ahead and get yourself signed up. $10 people, $25 people, $50 people signing up to be reoccurring members of this channel. And we'll do a little giveaway with the coffee and also some other merch that we got coming as well in order to do some giveaways for new sign-ups. So stay tuned for that. We'll get that together and be giving away some Drunk Ship coffee for you to check out. Shout out to Drunk Ship Coffee. Fam going down with it. Yes, there's some more. We got some other things coming as well to be talking about. As a matter of fact, like I was telling people earlier, I dropped the ball on. I was supposed to have Brother Preston Love on today. I was supposed to follow up on a call to have him on today. He's got an event coming up this Saturday. It's a pretty interesting thing that he got going on because he's opened up his campaign office. And I don't know if you guys remember Jesse's place, but that's where his new campaign office is. So,
Yeah.
So I'm gonna see if I can we can have him on Friday. I know Fridays he said he was really busy, but we're gonna try to squeeze him in, see if we can get him in on Friday and talk about that event coming up Saturday. Excuse me. Go ahead and get your haps together because we are gonna have a little bit of a haps show, a haps section at the end of the show, and I'd love to hear from you what's going on here coming up next few days. Things seem to get ramping up on Thursdays these days. Like that's how I remember being back in the day where I'm from. Like Thursday night is when everything started going, and out here they kind of waited till Friday, but I'm seeing more people doing stuff on Thursdays now. So
especially as it heats up.
As the heats up, especially.
Yeah, man.
Sure.
Yeah, man. Friday Junior, as I like to call it. Friday Junior.
Rome's Review says hit the like button. Please do that if you're on YouTube. And also don't forget we're on TikTok now. If you're over there, go ahead and check us out at First Sky Omaha on TikTok. That's where you're gonna get your news briefs. We can also get your news briefs on YouTube. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. YouTube Shorts, or just our YouTube page, man. Check us out for that, and we'll be updating that. Trying to do that just about every other day, along kind of same schedule as the show. So, kind of when to expect that, to look out for that. But yeah, big shout out to everybody who has been commenting, checking that out, sharing that already. We appreciate you. We see you. We love you. We thank you. And tell a friend, man. We're trying to spread out and do some other things. So again, let us know. What would you like to see? Let us know.
With that, Tony Johnson says, "Man, my screen key's blacking out here. Everybody, okay, got to do something different. Hold on one second. Wow, technical difficulties on my end over here.
Okay, to take me taking. I mean, I see the comment. You want me to just go ahead and
go ahead with the comments because I just lost all the comments on my side. So
okay. Thank you for okay. Brother Tony Johnson says everybody with family there should file a lawsuit. Litigation.
Man,
yeah. Office hosted. Office housed by Mike Maroney building. Not quite sure what you referring to there.
Which building we talking about?
Yeah. I did want to mention something about the Brother Preston Love.
Yep.
Run. He is running against Ricketts, right?
Yes. Yep.
And it just kind of was something that was swirling around in my mind. Like it really just sunk in. Like, man, we still do have Ricketts and Pillin in our government. Like we got them both. Like Ricketts is somewhere, in the legislature, in the hallways, willing and dealing somewhere in closed doors.
That he is.
Just let that sink in. Just think about it.
Yeah, very interesting stuff for sure. I'm
good over there, man?
Yeah, man. I'm trying to fix things as we go in here. There were some comments in there about I think Sean McCarthy said he's going to order some Drunk Shit. Appreciate that very much.
Yep.
Brooks said something about the flavor.
Beautiful.
Shout out to you guys who've already gotten down with the drunk ship. Yeah, I'm having. I don't know what's going on, man. I'm flashing in and out here. I'm gonna have to fix this for us real quick. So maybe I have you go ahead and jump into a story.
Mhm.
Here comes the stuff back. Okay, so yeah, jump into something real quick while I go handle this and come back come back full steam. Here we go. What's
Yeah.
next on the agenda?
Well, yeah, I did want to dive into this DACA story that's coming out of KETV. Again,
Oh
giving
yeah.
some light to our some our brown brothers and sisters, and this is actually a very interesting conversation that has a few layers to it that I wanted to dive into. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of this thing. This is coming out of proposed bill from Senator Justin Wayne. LB 918 is the original proposal, but it has been amended under LB 894, and the bill would allow DACA recipients to become certified police officers in Nebraska. A bill that U.S. Congressman Mike Flood is actually putting 10 toes down and standing against, saying that this is not a good idea. But in support of the bill, Wayne said, since you are here and we're providing all these other things for DACA students, it just makes sense that we would allow them to participate in law enforcement, according to U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. As of March 2023, so about a year ago, there were about 2,620 DACA recipients in Nebraska alone. Now, according to DACA, they must renew their legal status every 2 years. And that was kind of one of the points that Congressman Flood had an issue with as far as the legal status and really, to be frank, the credibility of some of these DACA recipients, saying this is well intentioned but ill conceived. If a law enforcement officer is not a citizen in the United States, enter this country illegally, how will a jury react to the evidence that officer presents? Again, questioning the credibility of the individual who will be bringing forth evidence and working in a legal capacity. When asked that if he would support instructing jurors to not consider an officer's immigration status altogether if they're not on trial, he said no. Instructing juries to ignore the immigration status of law enforcement officers isn't a solution. Juries deserve to know how witness entered the country and whether they broke the law to do so. Also, Sheriff Aaron Hansen spoke up on this issue, saying we have to share sensitive information with our federal partners, and apparently that's going to be an issue in regards to the requirements that already about vetting processes, excuse me, requirements surrounding processes that already exist in DACA eligibility requirements. Again, those requirements are already include making sure that people are not a national security threat and they haven't been charged with a felony or significant misdemeanor. However, Sheriff Aaron Hansen says that's still an issue and believes that federal leaders need to address DACA first. So, again, many layers to this story. I would like to point out that Senator Carol Blood is running against Mike Flood. So, just want to put that in there. Barrel Blood, as we like to call her around here on First Sky Omaha. But again, what say you? What say you about DACA? We don't really talk about DACA that much, but it definitely is an issue that is important, especially to our brown brothers and sisters. Chat's kind of going off. Just real quick, just checking in. You good over there, Paul? Hello, hello. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. So the tech is definitely taking on Paul's side. We're gonna jump back into the chat. Again, definitely appreciate all y'all chiming in. Brother Sean McCarthy says, I already have campaign slogan for Preston, rickets or love. What would you rather have? Okay, very simple, straight to the chase. Mama God in the chat says, where can business owners go to become a sponsor of show and shorts? You can go to firstsky.omaha.com and there's a link there to become a donor or sponsor of the show. Again, that's firstsky.omaha.com. Just kind of scroll down and you'll see the link there as well. And Brother Anthony Rogers right in the chat saying, oh, why would DACA folk want to work for an agency that takes part in raids of undocumented people? That makes no sense. Almost as bad as black cops. That's an interesting point. Yeah, that's a real interesting point. I don't know. I don't know. That's an interesting point. Sue Kessler Hager also Hagen also in the chat saying first they did not enter the country illegally. They were brought here by their parents, which is again that's what I was thinking. Thank you, Sue, for that clarification. Again, going back to what Congressman Mike Flood was saying about the credibility of these individuals, and you know, kind of to your point, brother Anthony Rogers, right? As far as why would they want to work for the agency, I'm kind of understanding that DACA recipients actually, you know, want to, you know, because they're treated as illegal and because they're treated so much like they don't belong. But the DACA recipients themselves were born here, which, to my understanding, makes them a DACA recipient. They view this place as home, so they want to be a part of society. They want to be a, you know, valuable and you know, useful member of society. So I don't know. I think there would be a percentage of DACA recipients that would want to be police. But I don't know. I can't. I'm not a DACA recipient, so I can't really speak from them. If anybody knows or is a DACA recipient, would definitely love to hear from you. Black Zam '09 in the chat, coming out of YouTube. Peace. Says I had to migrate for a while, but they can't pay people to be cops just because where they come from shouldn't matter. Okay. Okay. So believing where they come from shouldn't matter. Should their legal status matter as far as whether they're a citizen or not? Let me know. Guillermo Pena in the chat definitely would love to hear from you on this topic. He says they will be deporting all these kids or adults. I was lucky my mom fell in love with my Chicano stepdad. Awesome dad he was. Let's start why we're here. USA economic destabilization, Central American. Okay, I think I get what you're saying, which is also another point of again that I wanted to dive into. Let me reread that. Maybe I butchered it. It says, "Let's start why we're here. USA economic destabilization, Central American." Okay. Yeah, I think I get what you're saying, and that is definitely something else I wanted to talk about, kind of in our Black Republican conversation, as far as just the political leanings of people. I think Kimra said the political spectrum or the political topology, as she put it, where people fall. And I'm hearing a lot of people who are, you'll be surprised that are supporting Trump, and are actually not just supporting Trump, but you're hearing kind of the Republican rhetoric of, the building the wall and protecting the border. And I don't know if any of you have seen these levels of like mass exodus of people coming, into the United States and leaving countries like El Salvador and other Central American and South American countries. Some people are actually concerned about what's coming up, and I'm hearing like black people, like brothers, black men saying they're taking all the jobs and like this rhetoric, and I'm like, whoa, where is this coming from? So again, very very interesting. Paul, you good? You there? I can't hear you. Can't hear you, man. Tech is teching. Okay, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. But again, yeah, bear with us, man. Not sure what's going on, my man Paul B side, but as he continues to work on that, again, we'd definitely love to hear from you, your thoughts and minds, or your mind and thoughts on this. But yeah, I am kind of curious. So what is I'm hopefully brother Kasim is in here, because I'm definitely thinking of him when I'm thinking of this picture or this conversation. Somebody who, if you caught the conversation on Monday, he said it. He's a war general. Like he considers himself a war minded individual. He's a security provider. So again, that's what he does as far as security. And I am kind of curious as far as like, what is this feeling about border security? Again, I'm hearing a lot of black men concerned about what they're seeing as far as immigration, and not just immigration, but who's immigrating. I'm hearing a lot of rhetoric about these able-bodied war aged men coming into the country, undocumented and things like that. So again, I'm just curious. I'm just asking and probing what are people's thoughts, because I'm hearing some things that I never would think I would hear from people that I would never hear from, if I'm saying that right. So again, where are we on this conversation? Again, a lot of people, I'm talking tens of thousands of people coming in, hundreds of thousands really at once. So yeah, where are we in this conversation? What are your thoughts about DACA individuals becoming police officers? Going back into the chat, Tony Johnson in the chat says people associate DACA with the anchor baby stereotype and believe there was a plan to use children to infiltrate the country. So again, that's that's kind of the rhetoric that I'm hearing about this mass immigration that's coming into the country. Is this is there do you feel that's infiltration as far as what's going on? And that is also a lot of the reason why people aren't supporting Biden, saying that he's responsible for a lot of what's going on. Anthony Rogers Wright says, not police their community, oppress their community. Let's not forget why police was established. Slave catching and murder of indigenous people to open up lands for colonizers. Yeah, that is true. Again, the original or police patrols were the slave catcher patrols, and you know, a lot of that still remains in these forces, from training practices to you know, down the line. Sister Wanda Lewis in the chat says all things should be considered when it comes to employment opportunities, economic growth, education, housing. They invite those who are supported by federal funding with no questions asked. Okay. So yeah, I'm kind of curious. I guess what do you feel about those things? Um, do you support those things in an individual becoming a police officer? Let me know. Black Zam says yes. If the recipients are born here, then yes. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but that is my understanding of what makes you a DACA recipient. Is again, you're an individual who was born here to parents that you know are here illegally, but as someone who was born here, kind of goes to the Constitution. I believe the Naturalization Act. Individuals born within the United States shall be citizens of the state in which they're born. But again, I might be wrong. Let me know. Let me know.
Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2. Can you hear
We
me?
see you. We hear you.
Got to jump on the phone while I figure the rest of this out. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Do you have? Okay, can you hear us? Have you heard the conversation? You got any input on this? I know you coming out of Cali. You know, what are your thoughts?
yeah, I've been hearing it. I definitely, my thoughts have to do with the fact that my first thought was, aren't DACA people, you know, they're born here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's he talking about? People that came here illegally. You know, that's my first thought is the, of course they're gonna jump to, they don't want anybody foreign doing anything, and they consider people like that foreign, which is not the case. I had to go back and go, wait a minute, aren't DACA people born here?
Right.
Well, yeah. So number one, number two, what Anthony Rogers Wright is talking about is something that, you know, why would they even want to that's something that we struggle with all the time too. People come here and they are, you know, all of a sudden they're a part of this whole the American kind of propaganda, the rhetoric on who it is that you're supposed to be, and how you get ahead in this society, and so on and so forth. And you got folks policing, you know, folks that have family members and parents that came over here for a better life, and now they're in the position of arresting folks that are trying to do the same thing. And I've seen it happen a lot because you get caught up, kind of get caught up in that idea of like how you're supposed to do things in this country, and the whole idea of like what this country holds is honorable and responsible, and makes, and how they want you to assimilate, you know. So that I'm on that thought too. Like, why would they want to? I don't understand that part in the first place. Like, why would you want to be on that side of things? But I mean, that's for each individual to come up with. But it's still pretty interesting to think about the fact that how they're viewed. You know, for those that do want to join and be a part of that situation, how they're still viewed as foreigners and what that means in this country. So that's kind of my reason for checking out that whole scene there. When I saw that article, I was just like, wonder, and I also wonder what Senator Beryl Blood would have to say about it. You know what I mean?
Again, Senator Beryl Blood, as we like to call her, is running against Mike Flood, and for that Congress, that U.S. representative seat. So I would definitely love to hear about, you know, what she has to say about that, and several other things. Brother Anthony Rogers Wright, who again is working on a national level with the presidential candidate, brother Dr. Cornel West, is saying most of these nations are in the situations they are in because of U.S. imperialism. The chickens are coming home to roost. Any black person who is anti-immigrant is not aligned with the black radical tradition. We don't hate immigrants. We stand in solidarity with them. Okay. It's interesting because again, a lot of this that I'm hearing the opposition of the immigration, or not necessarily outright opposition, but just concern. Like, who is coming in? Are these people really, you know, um, children and families looking for a better life, living situation, or are these individuals who are actually, adversaries to the United States, who are, using this mass immigration as cover to make their ways behind enemy lines,
Right.
if you will. And again, it's a lot of black radical minds that I'm hearing this from, which is kind of why I wanted to bring this conversation to you all. Like, where does everybody stand? Like, I've said this a couple times on the show. On a lot of issues, it seems like the political, snake is kind of eating his own tail. Like, the people who are being on traditionally on opposite ends of the political spectrum are using the same exact rhetoric to prove their points. It's interesting.
Say the least.
Yeah, yeah. Chat's still going off. Okay.
Yeah,
So
appreciate.
maybe
Mhm.
we're a little mixed up on this. Anthony Rogers Wright says DACA people were not born here.
Okay. Okay. So the DACA people are the dreamers, right? That's people who were not born here. You saying they were uh what's the deal with them now? Was it that they were very young coming into the country? They don't know any other country. I
Yeah,
they were
that's
yeah.
that's usually the rhetoric that I do hear. As usually kind of the narrative, I will say, that I hear from a lot of people who are DACA recipients, or striving to be DACA recipients on a waiting list, and in that type of situation, they do often say that, I look at the United States as home. Like, that's really all I know. I might,
Right.
have been from somewhere, might have been born somewhere, my family might have come from somewhere, but the United States is what I know. Guillermo Pena says they are kids brought here as babies. So,
Hmm.
so
Right. Basically, DACA children have temporary protected status under DACA, so they can work and everything else, but at the same time, you're not a full citizen. Okay.
right, right. According to this article, they have to renew their legal status every 2 years, which again is a point of contention from Sheriff Aaron Hansen, as far as what if they're not, if they don't renew their status. He says it's important to know these people are going to be here with us for a career, and not that they're going to be deported. Again, pointing to the fact, if they don't renew their status. It is also interesting to point out that there was a program that did allow DACA recipients to serve in the military. So, and that has already been a thing that's called the Military's Ascension Vital National Interest Pilot Program. Under this program, there are about 820 DACA recipients who are able to serve or sign contracts with their intent to serve in the military. And as of 2017, about 140 of 820 recipients have become naturalized citizens. So the program allowed people who apparently the U.S. saw as vital to U.S. interests to become members of the military. I'm not quite sure, what that means as far as the vital to U.S. interest part. But to brother to brother Anthony Rogers Wright's point, again, these are individuals who could be coming from countries that look at United States with distaste. Like, you look at the Iran Contra situation. That's just one example of U.S. infiltration and U.S. destabilization and U.S. tampering with other countries, and why the United States might be responsible for some of the conditions that people might be fleeing. So again, it
Right.
is an interesting conversation. So yeah, a lot of people
Yeah.
coming into the chat still. Guillermo Pena says Obama helped why I appreciate our black brothers, but vice versa, deported. Again, not
Mm.
all presidents are all all good or all bad.
Right. Anthony
Ariel's
Rogers, right?
402.
Say again.
I was can you see the chats?
I can see it. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So yeah, if you want to hop in, any chats jump out to you because the chat's
Yeah.
kind of going
I
on.
am. Yeah, Anthony Rogers, right, right. If you're born in these stolen lands, you're a U.S. citizen, period. That's why they are now turning away pregnant women seeking asylum. It's disgusting.
Mm,
Also, earlier I saw Ariel's 402 was stuck out to me. He said, humans have been migrating since day one. Borders do not work unless militarized. Yeah,
mm.
that's heavy. Also,
Mm.
yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. Stephen Abraham is giving a little history too. He says just like the Native Americans was vital to the military in regards to the code breaking.
Mm.
So back in the day, that's what I was thinking. Back in the day, they used to offer citizenship to people if they served. That was kind of like what thing that they were saying. Hey, if you want to gain your citizenship, come fight in the war with us. And so I don't know how if they're obviously that's not that we're not in the same situation here. We're not in a war right now, and they're not offering that. But and I don't know when that stopped. I think it felt like it stopped a ways back. You know, so
Might be
uh,
something under Trump. I know DACA recipients were under heavy pressure and heavy scrutiny under Trump.
right. Mama God in the chat says, I believe much of the hoopla behind border control, higher imprisonment of black and brown people, and outlawing abortion are means to prevent Caucasians from becoming minorities.
Man, that is that
You will
is
not
a
replace us.
that is a
Theory.
point that a brother actually brought up to me as far as what would be the racial status of these individuals that are coming in and immigrating, and somebody was like, "Yeah, that's guaranteed that they would be considered white when they come into the community for census numbers and things like that." Which is
Wow.
which is an interesting thought. I mean, we got to talk about whiteness and the myth of whiteness. There's a certain point where Irish individuals weren't considered white. So, whiteness is fluid. It's fluid. So, to that point, again, we just had the census a couple years ago, and it actually, I believe the number has come up. Before it was 2050, it was projected that individuals of European descent, i.e., white people, would be a minority based on birth rates and you know abortion rates and things like that, which a lot of people are saying is is why all this abortion hoopla legally is happening. That was a point that Michelle will bring up often, and something we would talk about as far as again when Roe v. Wade was reversed. I can't hear you, Paul. I don't know if you're trying to test. But yeah. Again, what I was what I was saying is, yeah, all that is very very interesting as far as the intent and where a lot of this is coming from, and yeah, you know things have to be we got to talk about why would individuals do certain things. Why would 820 DACA recipients serve on the military? Why would they become why would why is any of this happening? Just just let us know what you think about it. Again, it is very very layered conversation.
Yeah.
Anthony Rogers right also in the chat saying policing does not keep the type of people who are DACA safe. Kimra, again, I forget what Kimra says, or I might have missed her comment. But he goes on to say this is just documented. They want to use the people to incarcerate black and brown people. Is colonization all over again? Mm.
There you go. Drop the mic on that.
Man. Yeah, chat's going off,
813.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Go back and read the chat, please. A lot of interesting comments, a lot of food for thought.
Appreciate that. 814 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. Thanks for bearing with us through these weird technical difficulties we're having here, but the conversation is going on no matter what, it
Yeah,
seems.
man.
So appreciate everybody who is a regular here that knows this is a common occurrence. It's what happens when you go live. It's,
Right,
goes down.
right.
But we got some more things to talk about today. We also have our haps happening a little later on, so get your haps together. We'll be talking about some things happening. Things standing out to me is Preston Love's event that's happening on Saturday.
Man.
Yeah, I'm glad they're making use of the old Jesse's Place building, man, and turn it into a campaign hub. So we'll see how we'll see. We'll see if we can get him in on Friday so we can talk about that event coming up and his run and so on and so forth. But yeah, get your halves together. We'll definitely talk about that a little later on in the show. In the meantime, between time, we got a few more things that we wanted to jump into. Buddy, what's top of mind for you?
Man, I actually want to dive into this native story coming out of the Nebraska Examiner, and it's actually kind of wrapping right into our whole conversation. Pops in the chat saying everyone here is an immigrant unless they're Native American. People hated the Irish when they came here. They hated the Polish and Irish when they came here. Our prejudice just goes on and on. and on.
Man.
Also, Anthony Rogers Wright says Latinos are black. Guillermo, many of them live in South and Central America. People from Spain are not Latinos; they are Hispanic and white. Again, kind of going back to the history of whiteness in that culture. And yeah. So interesting points. But again, I did want to pivot. Pops mentioning Native Americans, and wanted to give some light to our Native brothers and sisters who might be getting some help, especially in the area of mental health. This again coming out of Nebraska Examiner and talking about LB 1288, which was introduced by State Senator Jane Raybould of Lincoln. Again, would require law enforcement and hospitals to honor agreements from tribal courts for emergency protective custody agreements. The bill narrowly advanced last week, but it is moving forward to next stages. It passed on a 25-10 vote, netting the minimum number of votes needed, but it got what it needed. Again, this is addressing an issue surrounding individuals who might harm themselves or others, or find themselves in a mental health crisis and live in areas where, again, we have our Native brothers and sisters. Actually, State Senator Joni Albrecht of Thurston, Nebraska, whose district includes the Winnebago and Omaha tribes of Nebraska, says she's heard from residents who had no idea the bill was coming, which is why they did not weigh in sooner. But members of both tribes did support the bill at its February 1st Judiciary Committee hearing. And according to this article out of Omaha or Nebraska Examiner, currently the situation stands that there are no real mental health services or resources for individuals who find themselves in a mental health crises. According to State Senator Tom Brewer, who is a member of the Ogallala Sioux tribe, he says the legislature probably needed a Native American 101 class. He described conversations with his brother, who is apparently the sheriff of Sheridan County, where the current option is for someone with an emergency to be detained in jail for their safety or the safety of others, or be sent home with no care. So again, jail or being sent home aren't the best solutions or options for someone who finds themselves in a mental health crisis. He says if we roll them back into a cell, I think we have doomed the medical situation to only get worse. And you know, a lot of people kind of pointing to the Nico Jenkins situation, a brother who had a long history of mental health crises and a deteriorating mental health, and rather than getting the assistance he needed, he was housed in a prison cell. So we can definitely imagine the damage that might do. Also, State Senator Carol Bazin of Lincoln shared a copy of neutral testimony from Tony Green of Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services, outlining some cautions about the bill, saying these included funding and the logistics in carrying out the measure. So again, definitely something to look out for, and just something to talk about. Again, we sort of talked about news deserts in the last few areas, and that's definitely what I think of when I think of news deserts across Nebraska, counties and areas that don't really have a lot of news. Like what's going on with our Native brothers and sisters on the reservations? What's going on with our Latino Latinx brothers and sisters? That are in rural areas working. We kind of heard, some of the testimony and some of the realities when the news broke about the packing plants during the pandemic, and, some of the things that they were dealing with out there. But again, those stories don't get told if there isn't any news. So I definitely wanted to, shed some light on our Native brothers and sisters and what they're dealing with.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I definitely hope this is a good direction. I think it's a good direction for our community all the way around and everybody in it. It's a lot of times it is a situation of mental health over having to be policed, and they try to make an effort by putting a mental health expert in each department or something they did, and you don't really hear about much progress there. But there could be more. We just had an article that we looked at a little while ago where I believe it was Pillin or somebody was trying to recruit police officers from outside of Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Who was going after that? Was that Pillin?
No, it wasn't Pillin. It
I think
was
it was a senator, one of
it
the
was a
senators,
senator.
right?
Yeah, it was a senator.
Yeah, and we had Maggie Miller Jenkins in the chat brought that up. She was like, "We don't need more policing. We need more mental health, officers and
Mm-hmm.
people that can step in there." So, yeah, there's a lot, especially when you think about what policing does to the community where it's generally located, communities of poverty and in places where we have the results of that poverty happening in the form of crime and a bunch of other stuff. So they're in there policing these places. But what you also get when you're in economically depressed places is a lot of mental health issues and people,
Hmm.
really, really hurting and suffering from racism, from all the things that are health concerns.
Hmm.
So it seems to me like there should be more people out there, more help with families when it comes to mental health than even policing is needed sometimes. So
Yeah.
I think it's good for all communities, but yeah, especially our Native brothers and sisters who never get a light shine on that issue.
Yeah, especially Native brothers and sisters. We talk about mitochondrial DNA, and the fact that trauma is passed down from generation to generation. I mean, this is a people that, in many regards, went through genocides in many times. And we got Pine Ridge right up the road from Omaha, heavy, amounts of alcoholism and things like that within our Native, brothers and sisters community. So yeah, any mental health assistance that they can get is definitely huge, and any light, any news that we can report on what's going on in the communities is huge as well. We always make it a point to give a shout out to the elders and the brothers and sisters of the Umaha tribe who did give us permission, to speak on this land. That's important that we do that. We got to give honor to whom honors is due. So a big shout.
I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of people ask me sometimes what that means. We say that after in the end of every show.
Hmm.
Shout out to the Umaha tribe elders that allow us to be on this land. So we actually talked to some elders from the tribe, and it's kind of a thing that happens when you understand that this is the land that's really Native American land. There you go, Wells Lavelle.
Peace,
Aho.
peace. Yes,
He's
sir.
when you recognize where you at, then you go talk to the elders that belong here and ask them, can you be here first and foremost.
Right.
White folks that came and took this joint over did not do that. So we try to at least make an acknowledgement and reach out and get some permission. And we did that with an elder that came on the radio when we did Mind and Soul, which was him also giving us permission to speak on
Hmm.
on such things, on news for the Native American brothers and sisters. And we have brothers like Wells Lavelle who monitors us, make sure that we speaking right and saying right and representing right. And so that's what that means. I just wanted to bring that up because I say it all the time, and but a lot of times ghost listeners, radio listeners don't really know what that means. But that's what it is. We actually went to speak to the elder and asked for permission to be here and speak, and they gave us permission. So um, anyway, I'm glad you said that. I just wanted to bring that up again, just for people to know. But
Yeah.
back to that issue, brother Wells, the value in the chat. I see you over there, man. Me and you have had conversations about mental health in the community as well. What say you on this idea of them trying to put a little bit more emphasis on that instead of policing? Have some more emphasis on the mental health of the brothers and sisters everywhere.
Right.
I'd love to hear from you on that one, and no pressure if you don't feel like answering right now. He said, "Much respect, appreciate you, bro.
Man, love,
Appreciate you
love,
too."
love. Yeah. Shout out
Yeah,
to the brother. Let us know if you still got your office over at Center Mall. You still getting
man.
down.
What's up, man? What's the Indian tacos at? What's going
Yeah, man.
on? What's the
Yeah, man.
fundraisers happening?
Ariel's 402 in the chat also says natives had names for everything in America, but we speak English. I mean, we kind of, yeah, yeah,
Word.
yeah.
Appreciate your comments on that one. Let's
Yeah,
move on
yeah.
from there. But yeah, I'd love to hear from anybody who's connected to the Native American community. What your thoughts are on this too, brother Wells, especially. For those of you who don't know, brother Wells Lavelle Wells, he is a brother that is mixed, black and Native, and he really
Mhm.
has done a lot to connect our two cultures in a big way. So we always support him doing that because we're all about some togetherness and solidarity. We need that. We need that
Oh
out here
yeah.
for sure.
I mean, you do your homework. We cousins.
Man, we are
You did your
native.
homework. Right. You do your homework. So yeah, and to that point, there are a few other chat chimers who I know go to the res and are
Hmm.
active in those communities. So yeah, I would definitely love to hear it. Also, what are some of the other mental health resources that are out there? What's the real situation
Yeah,
on the res? Let
good
us know.
question.
Let
Good
us know.
question.
Let us know. Uh,
8:25 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, I don't believe that my the break will work right now either. So we just won't keep rolling at this point. Get your
okay.
haps together. We'll have a little bit of a hap session here at the end as well. Again, Preston Love has an event coming up on Saturday. So shout out to Preston Love for his run. He's going to be breaking us in on his new campaign headquarters, which is the old Jesse's place. So that's going down. It's 2311 North 24th Street. It's going down on Saturday. I have to get the time again, but shout out to Brother Preston Love. I'm gonna try to have him on Friday to talk about this, what's going on Saturday, and his run, man. What he expects to do against Pete Ricketts, and the reasons behind. I want to ask him again the reasons behind him running, and everything else. So we'll give him give the elder some time there. Meantime, between time, get your haps together, and we'll definitely talk about that a little later on in the show.
yeah, man. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I got two stories. I'm kind of not quite sure where to go. With it,
Okay.
we got unemployment in nursing homes.
Okay.
Let's dive into unemployment. Let's dive into unemployment.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. This is Michaela Cavanaugh. Senator Michaela Cavanaugh, put some respect to her name, is kicking up some dust in the legislature. Again, we've been talking to the senators about what are some of the sessions going on. They reminded us that floor debates recently started and took no time to get into the filibusters. Man, let's go ahead and dive into it. This coming
Love a
out of Nebraska
filibuster.
Examiner. Yeah, man. Again, a proposal to shorten the duration of unemployment benefits runs into a filibuster. Again, a proposal to shorten the maximum duration of unemployment benefits from 26 weeks, which it is currently, the 16 weeks ran into a filibuster from Senator Michaela Cavanaugh and other critics who say studies have shown that cutting off unemployment benefits earlier hasn't pushed more people back to work and may have harmed economies by reducing local spending. Also, there will be pushback from senators about cutting benefits for the unemployed after the state had cut income tax rates that benefited corporations and the well-off. So again, and it looks like the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, as you say, something that actually Senator Michaela Cavanaugh is echoing, saying we fight over nickels and dimes and pennies in this place when it comes to poverty, and we give money away like it's free for all when it comes to the most wealthy. Kavanaugh again led the filibuster against LB 1170, which was introduced by Ralston Senator Merv Reapy and declared a priority bill by the legislature's Business and Labor Committee. The bill did advance from committee on a 4-3 vote and faced similar divided views, during the floor debate of Thursday. Rippey, who again introduced the bill, portrayed the reduction, which is backed by a state chamber and other business groups, as a way to get more people back into the workforce and help address the state's labor shortage. Again, as I read through this article, I kind of couldn't help but think about that quote that you always point to, Paul, from the governor of Iowa, talking about the safety net becoming a hammock or something like that. Again, that's kind of the tone that I'm getting from
Man.
this bill and from these senators, as far as wanting to push people back into the workforce and cutting the time shorter, and basically saying people just being lazy, not trying to work. He said that there are about 2.5 job openings for every unemployed person in the state, and that is reasonable to expect for someone to find a new job within 16 weeks, even if it isn't their dream job. And the whole point that I feel like he's missing is the fact that these might be jobs available, but what are they paying? Is it a livable wage? People just aren't taking any job just to have a job nowadays. People aren't working just to say they have a job. Like, the whole point to work, I thought, was to be able to provide for yourself and your family. And if a job doesn't do that, then what's the point? Y'all let me know.
That's real. Uh, yeah, I think we always have this conversation about living wage. It's definitely a ongoing situation there where we try to figure out what that means and what that is.
Mm-hmm.
But the pandemic to me really brought out, like, the fragility of work life and what's going on with jobs and what's going on with everything. So many people lost their jobs. So many people lost their job. White folks went out and marched for George Floyd. So
That's just just because it was bored. Like, hey, we ain't got nothing else to do. We just gonna
But literally, my white friends told me that. I was like, "Why now?" I was like, "Why not? Why y'all coming out now? Because we ain't working. We got time for this." So,
got
okay,
time today.
okay. So, but yeah, this that kind of thing is definitely got brought out during the pandemic. So what happens? We've all been in a situation where we've been unemployed and maybe even had to get on unemployment. The nickels and dimes. What
Man,
was the difference? 16 weeks as opposed to
they cut it short 10 weeks from 26 to 16 weeks.
so I guess they have this vision of us just living off the unemployment. We're gonna
Yeah.
take a vacation while we on unemployment.
Yep.
So
Eating steak
shorten
and
that so
lobster.
we can hurry up and get back to work. Paternalism, all the stuff, all the stuff. So
Yeah. And actually, I didn't even see this when I read through the article, but it's funny that I thought about the comment from the Iowa governor that you always point to, because according to this article, it says that 13 states currently provide fewer than 26 weeks maximum on unemployment, including Iowa, which limits it to 16 weeks. So
they
again,
following suit.
we always talk about Nebraska following suit of surrounding areas, and
They, they,
and
they
other
got a game
states.
plan.
Man, man,
So yeah, that's the idea, man. So I really kind of hate it because it's only directed to us. Who else they think is sitting around, just laying up, not trying to work, live off the government. Remember that narrative? Remember that narrative started in the
mm-hmm,
80s
mm-hmm.
with the welfare queen and everything
Right,
else?
right, right.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, but again, if you do your homework, you look at the statistics. It's quite the opposite than the narrative that's being pushed. So
Word.
very, very interesting.
Jump in the chat real quick. Tony
Mm-hmm.
Johnson says that is the same argument to apply to the conversation about how the allocation of North Omaha funding will be the solution. How many new permanent livable wage jobs will actually be created? A whole lot could have been created for 450 million. So yes, it's disappointing that it's going to be way less as far as the jobs are generated because of how things happen. Ended up happening. So
Right.
God says Black Omaha is not going to survive and flourish solely on small business, especially given the low success rate of successful small businesses located in Black Omaha.
Mm.
Agreed. Agreed. So this was supposed to be a move that moved the needle on that because we can open up small business after small business for years. And first of all, business in general, most of them close in the first year, wherever you're at, whatever community. And then it's especially hard in Black Omaha, especially North Omaha geographically, because people people in the rest of the city don't want to come over to North Omaha to do business. And what kind of businesses do we have? What are we offering? It's a lot of nonprofit organizations, but not a lot of for-profit businesses. So I agree that there needs to be um, bigger businesses. We need more jobs at this moment. We need more economic development and infusion of money into businesses to make them bigger businesses. And that's what's so tough about the situation that we're in here with the 1024 money. So a shout out to Willie Barney and the other folks that are looking at what to do next, how to get past this, how to double the money, how to take a little bit and come up with it and come up with more, and really get into the side of building business out. One thing that this process did do, at least for us, was help us really get on top of our business idea, business plan, all the legal things that we need to be to get legit,
Mm-hmm.
because you can only build your business from there. So at the very least, that helped a lot of us that had to apply and go through all these processes. And some people are getting a little money here and there. We just got to do like Black folks do and make a dollar out of 15 cents like we have to been doing.
Man. And I'm glad you brought up that meeting. I do want to put out, if anybody was out there, would definitely love to hear your take on, how that went. What happened with that again, the kind of the second resource meeting from Empowerment Network and Black Men
Can't
United.
believe I
And
missed that.
yeah, man. So if anybody did make it, give us your take. Definitely love to
Yeah.
hear your thoughts on that.
Wanda Lewis, I like what you're saying. During COVID, Ricketts didn't want people to collect unemployment benefits at all. You remind me about that.
Man,
Had people standing in line outside workforce development within a couple of weeks to register for work and physicals, or you would be denied benefits. Yeah, I remember when that was the thing. They didn't want us to depend on that. Well, y'all got a stimulus check. Why you don't want, we don't want this. We start collecting unemployment. It's like what's the trip about the collecting unemployment? If you're a business owner, you know that part of that responsibility to pay people unemployment comes from your business. It's not even like the
hmm
state has to worry about this.
man. Yeah, to that point, they said that cutting the according to this article, cutting the unemployment benefits short by 10 weeks will reduce the total unemployment benefits needed in the state by about 23 million a year. That's according to a legislative fiscal note on LB 1170.
I'm sure businesses love this piece too because they are responsible for that, for some of that as well. But like, find some other places to cut money, man. Like, we don't need another helicopter. I don't know.
Man, I mean,
We
I
don't need a
definitely
police tank.
I'm definitely thinking about the $600, $600 million lake in between Omaha and Lincoln. Um, yeah, yeah. But also, I do want to point out, some of the other senators that are joining Senator Kavanaugh and criticizing the proposal and pushing with the filibuster. Senator Beryl Blood speaking up and said that if Nebraska wanted to encourage more people to work, it ought to consider increasing benefits such as paid maternity leave and child care.
Mm.
Drop the mic. Also, Senator Tony Vargas speaking up, saying that there's no sound policy to justify such a reduction in benefits, and at 16 weeks maximum, Nebraska will be an outlier among the states. Again, only about 13 states provide less than 26 weeks. About 35 states provide 26 or more. So it's definitely more that don't do it than that do. And currently it is unclear whether or not the 33 votes needed to fend off the filibuster have been secured. So we'll see. But it is a bill to look out for. So for those of you taking notes, LB 1170, LB 1170.
There you go. Right on, 8:37. If you believe in the concept of time, you said you have one more story you want to jump into. We got a little time before the half, so you want to.
Actually, I wanted to pivot and jump into some other stories. Again, we had talked about, talking about some other things and definitely wanted to give some light to a few other things happening in our community. Big
Yeah.
shout out to the Union for Contemporary Arts on the Deuce, the squad,
Deuce.
man. Yeah, some heads in the community definitely getting the opportunity to continue doing what it is that they do. The Union for Contemporary Arts just announced its 2024 fellows. And yeah, man, definitely big shout out, man. As you see, Andrew Joy Pearson, as we all love, frequent chat chimer, maybe even ghost listener out there, made a few appearances on the show. Definitely a beautiful spirit. Also, my man DJ Scotty Pigeon. If you come to a few of the first Sky Omaha chat chimer kickbacks, you might have seen my man on the ones and twos. He will now be a fellow at the Union. And also, if you recognize my man back there in the glasses, Connie Franco. Definitely dope individual, artist, MC, skateboarder. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in one half of Mean Street as well.
Yeah,
If you know
man.
that rap group.
Yeah, man. So definitely shout out. I'm not familiar with the other two. You were saying the sister in the middle is a dope artist, a painter.
Yeah. Sarah Rowe. She's a Native American artist. She's the one that did the big colorful silos over there on South Side that we love passing on the freeway.
Oh, okay,
One of my favorite artists in town, man. Sarah Rowe gets down. And then Machiavelli Gresham is the cat that I don't really know. So I've seen him around Union, but I haven't really spoken to him yet. So, but yeah, man, it's like the squad plus one, and what a lineup. There's gonna be some serious art coming out of the Deuce at this point.
Yeah, man. So again, big shout out to the Union for Contemporary Arts. We've been shouting out the is it the Kathy Tyree Theater? Is
The Shirley Tyree
It's
Theater.
Shirley. Okay. Always, I'm always getting mixed up. But again, they doing some big things. Just launched the Shirley Tyree Theater. Right now they have the Zora Neale Hurston event going on there. So definitely check that out. Yes. But again, now adding their fellows. I did want to rattle off a little information about what this exactly means. The
Yeah.
fellowship Again, these artists all receive a free private studio to create out of and do what it is that they do. They also receive a $3,000 honorarium, $500 professional development funds, a complimentary 1 year co-op pass, supplies not included, also critique sessions with arts and culture workers, and much more. So again, this is a beautiful, beautiful program for our artists. We're all about the arts. We know that we have some artists in the chat. Brooke, I'm looking at you. If you're interested in, maybe becoming a fellow, all you have to be is at least 21 years of age, be a U.S. citizen or permanent legal resident, reside in the Omaha Council Bluffs metropolitan area, be available to participate in all 11 months of the program, and not be enrolled in college or university during the program. So
There you go.
again, a BFA or MFA degree is not required to apply. Ideal applicants have a practice that allows them to take full advantage of a private studio. So, yeah, man, big shout out to the union doing big things and helping our artists out, man.
Yeah, people got a lot to say about the union, but people come from all around the world to get into these fellowships. And the one thing I will say, the Union for Contemporary Art is brought to the Deuce is a part of the art world. We're connected to the art world because of the union, and I'm talking about the worldwide art world. And so this is to me, we don't talk about this enough about what it is that they're doing and bringing to North Omaha, because just because it's not something that everybody is with, you ain't gonna make everybody happy. But
Right.
if you look into it at all, you're gonna see what kind of prominence that the union is bringing to the Deuce right now in a big way. And the fact that they got these local artists is really interesting as well. Like they've really reached out to give these fellowships to local artists, which I say, like, fellows in the past been from all around the world. They travel all the way around the world to come to Omaha to be a fellow at the Union for Contemporary Art. So it's huge. Right here in this picture, I'm seeing a master MC and musician and film historian. Andrew Joy Pearson is an opera singer.
Man.
Sarah Rowe is one of the dopest Native American artists in the world, as far as I'm concerned. She's one of my favorite artists of all time. Scotty Pigeon is master DJ and music historian as well. So I mean, just thinking about just this group alone, I want to learn more about the other brother over here. But just this group alone, man, world class art is coming out of the corner of 24th and Lake.
I don't want to. I don't want to. Also forget, shout out to my man DJ Scotty Pigeon, aka Shaq. Man, he can dance too, man. He's quite the dancer as well. Yeah, man. My brother Shaq could cut a rug, man.
Cut a rug.
Yeah, man. Shout out, man. Definitely some talented individuals getting some much needed resources, man. So yeah, big shout out to the union. This is some of the stuff that we want to continue to cover, especially in light of the Reader, man. The Reader being down, a lot of people before they picked up on their political coverage. The Reader was, kind of the culture mag in the area. So we definitely want to kind of pick up that mantle as well.
There you go, man. So shout out to Union for Contemporary Art, the Shirley Tyree Theater. Again, go check out Zora if you have not been to the Shirley Tyree Theater. Definitely check that out. And here's a good show for you to go see. So get your tickets and go check out Zora Neale Hurston, one of the greatest writers of all time. And telling about her story, Black America. And she tells the story of Black America as only she could.
Man,
it should be awesome. I'm hope to catch it before it gets out. And speaking of the Tyrees, Kathy Tyree is going to be at the Holland this Friday at 7:30. So Kathy Tyree is a singer extraordinaire. Shout out to the Omaha Performing Arts.
Man,
that's bringing her to the Holland on Friday at 7:30. It's another one of them events, man. Dress up and go check out Sister Kathy Tyree, getting down, doing her thing. A consummate musician, singer, brings a great, beautiful show. I was very impressed the times that I saw her perform. So definitely check that out. And that's happening Friday at 7:30 at the Holland. So yeah, Tyree family doing the thing.
Yeah, OPA getting down as well, man. And doing some good shows, man. So shout out to them. Our partners for Sky Omaha. So
there you go.
Yeah, big time.
Looks like you guys are still on the subjects in the chat. Appreciate you guys continuing the conversation over there. Anthony Rogers Wright said, "Here's a hat. Speaking of jobs, I am happy to announce that I will be working with BAA to bring a rep from the Congressional Progressive Caucus Center to discuss the Inflation Reduction Act's benefits for disadvantaged communities. Right on.
Okay.
Says sometime in April, the IRA is a terrible bill, but there's billions for communities like North O to start solarization and heat pump installation businesses that require unionization as a condition for receiving these funds. Man, that's heavy.
Okay.
That's heavy. Appreciate that work that you're doing with the BAA on that, man. We're gonna be turning out some young folks that got some high paying jobs. I can
Man,
see coming out of that.
trades, union
That's
work.
what's up. Yep. Mama Guy in the chat says, well, remember, some not a stimulus check and exponentially larger unemployment amounts during COVID, so much more until some folks refuse to work because of come up. Yeah, 26 weeks now reduced.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Any other comments stand out to you, buddy?
Sister Wanda Lewis talking about AI. She
Mhm.
says with artificial intelligence, there will soon be fewer jobs available, especially in the IT field and many more. We are in trouble.
Yeah, pretty soon you're gonna come on First Sky Omaha. It's gonna be a AI of me and Buddy.
Man. We're gonna chat GBT the words. We're gonna go have an AI with the mouth moving all weird. Yeah.
So if you want us to stay live, then please go to firstskyOmaha.com. Hit the donate button.
That part.
Otherwise, AI gonna take our jobs.
Man. Before we get out of here and jump into the haps, man, I did have one last thing I wanted to dive into. Some more information that I wanted to share with the community. This is a story that we covered on Monday, talking about No More Empty Pots and their new STEM internship. Didn't really get any details about how to get involved or how much people are making. So I wanted to double back because there still is opportunity for individuals, especially our youth, who are interested in getting into the sciences. This is dealing with natural sciences. It's called the Claire M. Hubbard Science Internship by No More Empty Pots, and it presents a paid science internship for 3 high school students at the greenhouse at the Highlander neighborhood of North Omaha. The program offers hand-on immersive experiences for students interested in STEM education and careers. There's 3 windows that they're having. The first one has already closed. That internship goes from February 5th through May 4th. And that deadline was January 26th. But there will also be a summer and fall session. Those deadlines and those application windows have not opened up yet. But again, the current window or the current session, you could say, ends on May 4th. So look for that next window to open up sometime May or June. Probably May. Look out for that. But again, if you have any individuals, young folk that are interested, eligibility for the internship, applicants to be currently enrolled in high school. So you do have to have a young person who's in high school. Priority is given to OPS North High Science and Research Academy students. So again, if you are a North High student, you will get priority. But again, if your young person does not go to North and they're still interested, still apply. So you can go to No More Empty Pots website. That's nmepomaha.org. That's nmepomaha.org/internship for more information.
Right on.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. We definitely would want to have them on the show and talk about what they got going on over there with the greenhouse. Spoke to them around the time they opened the greenhouse and said they would love to come on the show. So we'll reach back out and see if we can make that happen.
Yeah, man.
If you guys got anybody in the chat that you got a family, any people that would be interested in doing something here. I know a lot of people in our community now are doing community gardening and stuff like that. So maybe somebody interested in learning the tech of a greenhouse and so on and so forth. I think it'd be a very interesting thing for a young person to get into, especially the generation that's all about these growing our own food and stuff like that now.
Yeah, man.
So cutting edge tech.
STEAM, all about it. So if you have any more information, any more resources, if you know about any more programs that we can big up and get our youth involved in, and get them just busy, man. Just get them outside, get them active, get them busy. As they say, idle time's the devil's workshop. So kind of in light of what we're talking about as far as some of the youth and things we're seeing out of the youth now. They need help. They need programs. So
There it is.
there it is.
How you feeling over there, buddy? You hanging in there?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Trying to keep up with the chat, man. There's a reason we tell people not to look at the chat that's going on. Definitely appreciate y'all. Again, letting your minds be free, letting your voices be heard. Some, apparently some events coming up, some things going on. So some conversations being had in the chat as well. So yeah, trying to keep up. But yeah, all is good, man. We got just about 10 minutes left. You got some haps? What's the word? What we doing?
Yeah, we got a few haps. I wish I could play the hap song, but as you can see, I'm live from the void right now, so it is what it is. We already talked about this event happening on Saturday. This is Preston Love's U.S. Senate run. He's opened up his campaign office, and we're going to have a little get-together there at the old Jesse's place, 2311 North 24th Street, right there on the Deuce.
The Deuce.
It's good. I love it when boards come off the sides of buildings at the Deuce, and we get to revamp the space and create some liveliness in the spaces. So it's always a good thing. It's always a good thing. As a matter of fact, we just talked about Union for Contemporary Art, Shirley Tyree Theater right after that, Idle Vital Juices right after that, and now Preston Love's U.S. Senate headquarters right in a row. We got some things going on right there on 24th Street. So shout out to Preston Love for his run and what he got going on. We'll see if we can try to get him on the show on Friday to talk about this event as well. So appreciate that very much. In the chat, we got Black Zam 09 saying Wakanda 1 show March 30th at the Benson Theater. That's what's up. Yeah, I'm glad to see that. Glad to see that collaboration there. So shout out to Wakanda 1 doing what they do. And we'll have some more about that as the show comes up. So appreciate that very much.
Brother Shamari Huggins and Coleman Hunter getting down.
There you go. Get down. Yeah. There is an event today that the NOCP, Commercial Cleaning Partnership Opportunity Orientation. Okay. Franchise opportunities with black owned and go and I'm sorry, I can't read that. I'm trying to look at this flyer on the screen. Trying to read it out. 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. I can see that Owners Looper and Brittany Akow are hosting this event. Sounds like Commercial Cleaning Partnership Opportunity Orientation hosted by NOCP. Big Mama's Kitchen is involved. Can you see any more on this flyer? I'm kind of looks like Omaha 100 is involved too.
Yeah, Omaha 100.
It looks like the NOCP office, 2406 Fowler Avenue.
Third floor.
Yeah, third floor. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it says catering provided by Big Mamas. Looks like they'll be. Yep. It says, are you interested in starting a commercial cleaning business? Do you have a commercial cleaning business? Omaha 100 will offer funding opportunities, franchise opportunities for Black owned. So again,
sweet.
These are individuals doing some cleaning. Anago cleaning system. That's what it is. Black owned Anago cleaning systems. I think these are actually our African brothers and sisters that the BAA have been working with. I think they were doing some cleaning of some of the BAA facilities. They just got that podcast studio. They were doing some cleaning there and some other opportunities. So, yeah. Shout out.
Black owned Anago cleaning systems. Right on. Okay, cool. So I wish we'd have saw this a little bit earlier so we can get a little bit more information on this. But this is happening today from 6 to 8. So I'm sure that they've been doing a lot on pushing this out. Has anybody in the chat heard about this event coming up?
Actually, we got Sister Tamika, who who runs NOCP, again, the North Omaha Community Partnership. In the chat, she says NOCP will be hosting a franchise opportunity with Anago Cleaning Systems of Nebraska, Black owned by Looper and Brittany Cole. This our orientation is a free event to anyone that wants to start or expand their cleaning business. It will be at our office today, 6 to 8 p.m. Omaha 100 will be there to provide funding opportunities. Dinner will be provided by Big Mama's Kitchen. So there you go. The full rundown. I'm sorry. All I can think of is set it off. If you don't want to work for Luther's.
That's what's up. Shout out to Tamika Renee coming on in and let us know. Yeah.
On a serious note, though, that's a great idea. And you think about a lot of buildings opening up. I'm thinking about North End Telecommunications building on the Deuce. Like, who's gonna clean it?
It's a major. You can get major contracts. I knew some brothers that own some cleaning companies back in California that you can get major contracts. We're really close to downtown, and there's a lot you can do there. So appreciate
There
the
you go.
efforts there for sure.
There you go.
Yep. Another event coming up here. Miss Kimber Snipes put this in the chat. This is for Thursday, March 14th from 12 to 5, and Friday, March 15th from 9 to 5. The Youth Policy Camp. Interesting. Okay, we'll learn about Nebraska unicameral. So some more information on how our laws work. This is kind of what we're all about over here too. When we think about how people are making laws that affect our lives, our daily lives all the time, we kind of want to know how it works and what goes on there. So this is for the youth. This is
Yeah,
great.
man.
Voices for Children in Nebraska.
Okay.
You can RSVP by March 8th and get your kid over there to this camp, man, so we can start them off early with the knowledge.
Yeah, it definitely helps raising valuable members and people who want to input into society.
There you
I
go.
know how it works first.
There you go. Malik Rogers in the chat. Tamika, they own Amazon and FedEx. You say, oh yeah, yeah. Tamika Renee says Looper and Brittany Echo owns Amazon and FedEx.
Okay, they're making some moves.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about. I want to hear a little bit more about that. Who are these folks that even they own Amazon and FedEx stock? How do they own? Let me know what's going on there. Also, let me see here. We do know that Tech 9 is coming to the Astro on the 8th.
Hey,
What's the date today? 6th? Yeah, so this is Friday night. It's coming up.
strange.
So those of you, sing it, buddy, sing it. So shout out to Tech 9. Everybody has Tech 9 is a huge show. Every time he comes out to Omaha, man, he sells out. It turns out, everybody's all about it.
I mean, it's not just Omaha, man. He came down here and sold out in Atlanta, man. He's he's not Drake status, but he's legend. He's a legend in the game.
He's underground Drake status though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, yes. The most lucrative independent underground label in the game.
There you go. Oh, this is an old flyer. We don't want that one. Let's see here. What else? This Clipper School, is it still going on? It's March 10th. Yeah, coming up.
Yep.
March 10th. I've been seeing this in the Friends of First Sky Omaha. Appreciate you guys putting this in there. Old school phase lineups, haircuts, Clipper mastery. Looks like some instructional situation here in order for people to learn, young folks maybe to learn how to do these things. You can text and DM and sign up for classes. That's what I'm seeing is it's a class that you can sign up for. 402-714-5333. I'm echoing in my headphones, so I'm 3333. I don't know how many threes I just said. 5333. Sound like 6 threes. March 10th at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So it's quite a little morning there for you to learn some of the skills. So shout out, you got young folks that are wanting to do haircuts. When we go to barber school next, have them come through and get some clipper mastery, learn how it works. So shout out to the brothers of Mr. Brown, the barber who's going to be your instructor there. Shout out to him.
Hey, we talk about trade work. That's a trade. Hey, people always gonna have hair.
Not always.
Yeah. Not individuals, but there will always be people with hair. Is my point.
The barbershop is an institution in the Black community, and you can't have one without one. So that's what's up.
There you go.
Tonight, Patterson says a trade school proposal would have been the gift that keeps on giving. 5 basic fields, fastest route to real wages.
There you go. Talking about trades. Talking about trades. You know what I'm saying? I did want to give a shout out to an event that Sister Kimra dropped in the chat as well. She says she missed the Empowerment Network meeting on Monday. She says I was touring Nebraska Urban India Health Coalition, where more will host our next school board discussion. We are working on a flyer. Yep. We are working on a flyer. It will be March 26th at 6 p.m. So, looking out for that flyer. But apparently there will be a school board discussion, something that a lot of people, I'm sure, are interested. APB still out for Ricky Smith. So maybe you'll get some answers at this meeting. Again, March 26th at 6 p.m. Whenever y'all get that flyer finished, drop it on by.
Yep. one more little bit of information on this NOCP. Sister Jamaica Renee is saying in the chat. If I can get back to it. Cloud Logistics, Somalia Insurance, and Anago Cleaning Systems of Nebraska. So even if you're not interested in cleaning, you might still want to tap in with them today.
Man,
So again, that's
insurance,
6. Yeah, man.
logistics.
It's 6 o'clock from 6 to 8. And again, it looks like the office is at NOCP office 22406 Fowler Avenue on 3rd floor. So definitely check that out. And you know who to talk to, too, if you need some more information on that. Ms. Tamika Renee in the chat. Chat chime in. Before we get out of here, it is 9 o'clock right now, but we want to make sure that we still always speak on Mr. Blake and talk about the fact that we're all still looking for him. He's still missing. Do you have any information? If you do, then you can call the Omaha Police Missing Persons Department, 402-444-4123. Yeah, if you have any information at all, go ahead and call them up. They need some calls over there. And also, if you're looking for him around your neighborhood, or you have any information, you can also put it on your own social media with the hashtag Where is Mr. Blake? For those of you who don't know who we're talking about, Levi Blake, age 80. He's been missing since August. Last seen in Omaha, Nebraska, 5'9", 150. And he's been diagnosed with dementia. So that's one of the issues here, that he's been diagnosed with dementia and he didn't really get taken care of, and now he's missing. So we need to really keep our eyes out for him as well. And shout out to everybody, including Sherman Wells, who's been doing a lot. Shout out to the family who's doing all they can as well. And we're going to be talking to Brother Wells about this on Monday. The more information that there is out there now about his the bank account that they started, and it's going to be a reward and some more updates on this coming soon. So keep your eyes open for Brother Blake. We're going to continue to look.
Yeah, man.
Yep. And with that, I think that's it for the Haps for today. So
well, that means that's it for the show.
Yeah, it's not it for my day. Now it's unplugging and pulling things apart and restarting. And
man, got a head
head's
smoke.
already smoking on trying to figure this out. Right?
I don't know. Let's try to see. You want to try? Can we hear you? Want to test it out?
Nah, man. I'm over it now.
All right, man. Well, man, we appreciate y'all. Sister Tamika in the chat, one last comment saying NOCP is really about rebuilding, uplifting, and empowering our community. Today's initiative contributes to economic development and keeping our dollars in our community. Definitely big shout out to you. Looks like you trying to plug people in a real way. I definitely love to hear more, from this couple. It seems like they're making some power moves. So y'all tap in with Sister Tamika, man. 2406 Fowler, I believe, 3rd floor. So yeah, tap in. In the meantime, between time, we love you. We thank you. We appreciate you. All the same ghost listeners, first time listeners, last time listeners, chat chimers, those in the club 630, everybody, man, who's again supporting what it is that we do. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. And with that, Paul B.
Yo.
Take it away, man.
Right on, man. Thanks for joining us. Early in the chat, Brother Pena says, my partner called. Darn, I missed a good conversation. Well, if you miss any parts of this conversation, you can always go back and check it out on Facebook and YouTube. When you do, please check out the chats on both platforms, because there's a lot of good information, a lot of good conversation going on there. If you have anything else that you're thinking of that is relevant to us, let us know. Let us know how you want to discuss that. Put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha, find some articles, some material, do some backup material. We encourage everybody who is, especially that's a chat chimer, to go ahead and, be the catalyst for action. We don't want to just always be talking about what it is that we can do. And, it'd be nice to do this and be good to do that. But put boots to the roots and go ahead and put something together. We can always use more partners that are in the field doing the good work of some research and activism and everything else. So I just want to encourage that. I see a lot of that in Friends of First Sky Omaha, people that are concerned about what's going on and want some action taken. Well, got to start with yourself. So that's what we're all trying to do as best we can here. So just shout out to everybody who's been a part of this and been doing it. Really, really appreciate that. Screen going crazy over here again. Pop says, it amazes me how the show travels at the speed of light. I love it. See y'all on Friday. God willing, and the creek don't rise.
Man.
And hopefully next week we'll swing Pops back around to Loving Wednesdays again. He said they suck now, so it's all good. I appreciate you, Pops. Appreciate you. And I appreciate everybody that's on the chat as well. Shout out to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Thank you for your words of wisdom, your conversation, your research, your information, setting us straight when we need to be set straight. Shout out to you guys conversating amongst each other and continuing the conversation. And also shout out to everybody who contributes to Friends of First Sky Omaha. Appreciate it very much. Don't forget our TikTok is humming right now, is jamming with the news briefs. So yeah, if you want a recap of the show, you have a TikTok account, go check us out on First Sky Omaha, the TikTok account. You can also do that on YouTube as well, though. So like and subscribe at YouTube, and check out the shorts that are over there too for your daily news updates. And look to us to expand that. And again, I want to mention, if you want to support what we're trying to do here, go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the donate button, become a recurring member or sponsor of the channel. Pretty soon we'll be doing some Drunk Ship coffee giveaways, so stay tuned for that. Shout out to Drunk Ship for sponsoring the show. And if you want to also sponsor some shows or some of the TikTok news briefs, let us know. Hit us up on firstskyOmaha@gmail.com. And we'll be taking a look over there to see about doing some business with y'all. So shout out to everybody who has been following us this whole time and and been working with us and being our co-host this whole time. Can't do it without you. So we really, really appreciate you guys and all your presence. With that said, how you feeling over there, buddy? You ready to go?
Yeah, getting up out of here. Big shout out to Brother Anthony Rogers Wright. Appreciate you. Appreciate you too for navigating tech issues like pros and still putting on the best damn show in the state. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. And yeah, hopefully, the tech be teching, y'all, but we're gonna do the dang on thing however we can, man. So we appreciate you. We love you. And catch you same time, same place, man. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. With that, let's get up out of here, man. Peace.
By the way, Vanguard. This is protected by the red